This video is about chaperone because I got a few questions about chaperone. Is it all common here in the Philippines? Actually, when a couple, when you are still getting to know each other with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, usually in the Philippines, when you invite them out, there is chaperone, two or three, or maybe even more. One is a minimal because I could share my story when I was younger that we have this friend. I have this friend that is quite tall, white, the 6 foot woman. So she's like half a part-time model. So one time, there's a Japanese that's really besotted by her. So she was invited to a meal, and me and my friend, who's the prosecutor now, went along. So you know that we are coming from a poor background. We buy the clothes in the market, in the ukay-ukay, buys those, oh, this is nice jackets at 50 pesos each. So that's what we wear just to meet the Japanese in Shangri-La. That was new at that time, Shangri-La Hotel. So it's been like 5 years, 6 years, then we haven't been there. Of course, we have no business going there. So this is like an opportunity that our model friend was invited for dinner by this Japanese, and she can take her friends along. So I went along with my prosecutor friend, and she's prosecutor now. We went along. So when we check on the menu, we make sure that, this time we're gonna search. We're gonna have to pick the one that's most expensive on this menu. So we ordered our meal in that fancy restaurant that he's taking us, and the girlfriend, our friend who's a model that's been courted by this Japanese, just order a salad. So when our meals come in, ours is like in big servings, like we can akin it to our long play album. The big vinyl ones before? That's like that. That's the size of the meals that we ordered. Like filet mignon, prawn thermidor, the one that we see that's most expensive in the menu. And when the salad of our model friend come, it's like serving a saucer. Like, oh, you got a CD. We have a long play. So what happened when the Japanese finally decided to have a leak? So went up. Oh, I'll just be out for a few minutes. I'll just have a leak. Oh, our model friends start eating in our plate. So, see, we are there. The chaperone got more expensive meals than what the one that we chaperone on. And another funny story on that one. After the meal, the Japanese wants to take out for entertainment because they're Japanese. Of course, you can expect that they like karaokes. So we went along to this karaoke bar, and for our shock and for another unforgettable experience is, the jacket that we bought from the market. Me and my prosecutor friend, we have identical. OMG. It's also identical to the uniforms of the GRO in the karaoke. So we want to go home. And that's when we leave our model friend with the Japanese because we can't take it anymore that we are like the GROs in the karaoke. But she also tell the Japanese, I'm going to have to go because we're just getting knowing each other. We can have another date, but my chaperones are going on. But you know what I mean? Chaperone is a common thing when you are getting to know a girl here in the Philippines. Sometimes the worst is chaperone will be the whole family. Like you have a girl from the province and you want to meet him on dinner. Sometimes the whole family come along. Like my experience with OB when we were engaged, he invited my family for dinner because he wants to know them because we are now engaged. So we went along, my family went along, and my brother picked the restaurants, of course. And he picked the Chinese restaurant because he knows the waiters there. So we went to this Chinese restaurant. About 10 of my family was there. Oh, my parents is there, my siblings, so cousins and even neighbors was even there. So an old B order, you know the sets in the Chinese restaurant, they got the set meals for 10 to 12 people, sometimes 8 to 10. So old B wants to be impressive, ordered like two or three sets, I remember, of like the smaller version meal, like for 6 to 7 people, and ordered three like that. So at that time, the price for that one is like 1,200 for our set meal, because they got like different level of set meal. So the estimated one is like 1,200 for three set meals, and then with the drinks on top. So the budget of Old B was like 4 to 5,000 pesos. And so we had our meal, and then the bill was given to him, and Old B was shocked. So I was like, since I'm the fiance, I check what's the matter. Nothing. And then he don't want to embarrass me in front of my family, so he only told me afterwards. He was actually shocked why the bill was so high, like almost over 7,000 pesos. And so he don't want to say that they made a mistake because all the items was there. So are you sure you ordered the right one? So he don't want to make a fuss and issue, so he won't get embarrassed in front of my family. And so he paid it. The tight sod paid it. So he just paid it without complaint. Then, as we wanna go home, my brother said, "Oh, wait, I have to wait for something." So I thought he's waiting for the leftovers. So it might be just bags. And then the waiter starts coming out of the kitchen. And it's in boxes. I wonder what's the boxes all about. This is not the leftovers. And now I know what's the shock of Old Bees all about. My useless eldest brother have ordered the same meals for takeout. So that's why the bill almost doubled up. So he ordered another two smaller set meals to take out. And that's what you can experience sometimes, because from then on I was embarrassed myself, and Old B, the tight sod, never invited my family anymore. And that was 23 years ago. And that's our experience about chaperone with the whole family and dining with the whole family. So Old B had his shock, and he learned his lesson. And I told him, when you're inviting Filipinos, we are like this. You might be a foreigner, a Filipino, the same treatment. It's not just limited to foreigners. It's the same with Filipino. You invite one, you get 10. So it's also, even just simple occasions, you got the same. Someone will bring along the tribe, they call it. So I think the Filipino people can relate to me, that when you invite one, you get a tribe, or you don't expect, when you invite someone, you only expect your date. If you're just getting along well, getting to know each other, expect that she will have a chaperone. Expect that it's not only going to be one chaperone, it might be 2 or 3, or might be the whole family. Now, if you're married to the girl, then it's a different story. The family now will be invited before they can come along. And still, even if they're not invited, the get along, tag along is accepted norms over here. Like, you already expected it. So when you're having a party and you're inviting something for 50 people, you should have a preparation for 100 people. I mean, that's the norm. Usually, you always have extra food, because you always know here in the Philippines that when you invite someone, there's always a tag along. And that's the chaperone, if it's a date. So chaperone is a common thing. I have been a chaperone to my friends, my friends who've been dating or courting with even Filipino friends. We still tag along. And on my part, When Olby was dating me, I tag along my family because Olby as well wants to meet them. So like I got friends Olby wants to meet before. They also come along in 4 or 5 or 6 because that's just normal here in the Philippines. And the Filipinos listening to this knows that it is normal. It might be wrong, but it's the culture, it's the tradition. So that's the rule about chaperone. Chaperone always happens when you first get to know the girl. The first date, sometimes that's where the tag alongs come along.